Hello, everyone. This is KJ, and welcome back to Love's Teaching Will Travel. Our episode this week focuses on fear, how we tend to take certain things away from ourselves when we're afraid. And I just want us to be able to explore that and think about the things that we are missing from our lives when we decide to let fear take over. Now, once upon a time, we were told to go to school, graduate, and get our dream job. But this honestly isn't the reality for everyone. I can say with conviction, I went to school, racked up an obscene amount of student debt, and went on from graduate school to build a career in education, leading me to my dream job in higher education. But everyone doesn't get this. Everyone doesn't get to live their dream and get their perfect dream job working as a professor, having a great atmosphere where they're working with colleagues who are supportive and students who are amazing, even though they have some hard times, right? Not everyone gets to live that dream. And honestly, I feel really, really hurt sometimes when I think about where many of our teachers are in the field. And not only teachers, but education professionals altogether. Many are struggling. Many are having a hard time dealing with classrooms where they're not respected, they're not supported. And I think for me right now, as an educator leading other professionals into careers in education, I'm at a crossroads. Now, how do I continue to advocate for my students to enter a field where they're paid fairly, treated with respect, but also keep my students motivated and passionate about a field that doesn't seem to appreciate their talents? Sometimes we have to make a change, and deep within me, I feel that teachers and aspiring teachers need to go where they're respected, getting the pay that they deserve. And this was honestly my goal with the podcast from the beginning. And I'm here to tell you change is good. Don't be afraid of it. We've been conditioned to think that there's only one way to do something. But I'm here to tell you, you have options. Don't be afraid of change. Don't look at these opportunities that are in front of you and say, you know what, this isn't for me. I know many, many people who are in the field of education and they don't see a way out of it. I know many people who are in the field of education and they're going into classrooms and they're working with colleagues and they're working with children and working with families and they're burnt out. We're burnt out because we need change. We're burnt out because we're afraid. And I'm here to tell you, take the leap, take the plunge. There's so much resource and knowledge around us now that's telling us there's more than one way to do this. If you truly love teaching and this is your passion and this is what you want to spend your life doing, I'm here to tell you there's more than one way to do it. I love my day job. I love being able to walk into my classroom and support my students and lead them and help them find joy in teaching, right? Because honestly, if you don't love teaching, it's not for you, because we all know it's not the paycheck, right? You have to love what you do. You have to love teaching. It has to bring you joy. It has to make you feel good. Putting a smile on your student's face, whether it's a child or an adult student, you have to want to be there. You have to be able to get up in the morning and say, you know what, as tired as I am today, I'm going in and I'm going to give my students 110% of me. Now, when you start feeling like you can only give 10%, 20%, 15%, it's time to look for change. And I'm here to tell you, don't be afraid of it. There's more out there. There are opportunities out there. I've been saying this entire season. There are resources. Take a look at the show notes. Take a look at my blog. Listen to some of the interviews I've had on the podcast. There are people who are out there living their change. But there's fear. And that's okay, because sometimes fear can motivate us. Sometimes fear can point us in the right direction, right? Whether we're afraid that we're going to lose our home, lose our job, lose our family, fear can actually bring something into us that motivates us to make a difference and do the things that are going to build us into amazing, wonderful people who are contributing back into society. Now, I've only been podcasting a few months, but honestly, this is something that I feel has been a calling for a long time. Even when I'm teaching in my classroom, and I love doing collaborative work and I love doing group work, and I've never been a lecturer, but for some reason, it feels really good to just give people a motivational talk, right? And I feel like this podcast has been able to give me more opportunities to do that, because I find that my job is not just to teach, but to motivate. And if I can be that motivating support, if I can be that resource to you to help you find opportunities, I'm here for you. I'm here to give you what you need in order for you to move past fear and get to a point of motivation where you feel like you can live your dream and be able to go out and find these opportunities that are going to help you fall back in love with teaching, right? Fall back in love with that passion that you've been having deep within you for a long time, but the world has just been chipping it away. Teaching has been one of the most rewarding careers for me. I love what I do, but it scares me that many of us are going away from what we love because of what's been happening in our field. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the mass exodus and what's happening in the field of education. It's not a good thing. I'm afraid for our teachers. I'm afraid for our children, because at the end of the day, when all of our teachers are gone, who is going to teach our children? I'll be right back. While we're on a break, let me tell you about something new I've added to the podcast. It's subscriptions. Now, there are going to be some bonus episodes joining, our podcast bi-weekly. You can sign up. This is a great way for you to hear from some of our past interview guests and get some background on what they've done, where they've been, and get some behind the scenes of what's really going on when we decide to relocate and teach in another country. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to sign up, join us, and we'll see you next time. Now that we're back, let's talk a little bit more about change. Change can be good, and sometimes we must change to live the life that we've dreamed of. For many of us, the thought of moving abroad to teach can be so scary. There are so many unknowns. From the financial to the social, everything's going to change. Some of us might lose connections with family, right? And that's a large part of the fear. I'm here to tell you, take that chance, step into the unknown, and follow your own path. If you're teaching and you feel yourself losing your passion, take a chance on teaching abroad. The positives might honestly just outweigh the negative. You might anticipate, bureaucracy, language barriers, but that's okay. Thinking about the mass exodus in education, it's important before you give up on the field to take a chance on teaching abroad. You might find your love of teaching coming back not only from external motivators like money or acceptance, but from a true love and a true passion for what you do each day in the classroom. Honestly, don't just take my word for it. Please hear it from the teachers who've already done it, for better or worse. Many of the interviews I've done so far this season have talked about the good, bad, and in between. Going abroad to teach isn't the yellow brick road, it's not Oz, right? But what it is a chance for you to fall back in love with something that you've wanted to do for such a long time. I know many of us who've been working in the field for decades, right? Or some of us who've worked for 10, 15 years, and we're just ready to say, you know what, this is it for me. This is it. Because we're unappreciated, uncared for. I might have a unique situation where I'm in a wonderful program with a supportive coordinator who does nothing but give me wonderful feedback and just constantly supports me. But not everyone has this opportunity, from a higher ed all the way down to preschool. And so I'm here to tell you, if you feel that your schools have turned their backs on you, if you feel that your institutions have turned their backs on you, take some time to recollect. Take some time to just really reflect on your experiences, reflect on your love, reflect on why you started teaching in the first place. Think about your students, whether adult or children, and what you want to give to them. And if you're not able to do it today, if you get up in the morning and you say, this isn't for me anymore, I want you to go back and listen to the episodes in the season and really find that love again. And think about how you can use these resources and inspiration from these teachers to help bring love back into your job, bring love back into the career that you chose and the career that you still choose, right? You still choose it, but right now is too difficult to move on. Think about what you want long term, right? Whether it's going abroad just to see what things are like, learn about the education system, maybe go abroad just for a sabbatical, right? Check out Stephanie Perry. She has all the details on that, right? I'll include her information in the show notes. If you're looking to take a mini break, take a sabbatical, maybe recoup and say, you know what, I'm gonna take some time for me, that's okay. If you want to go abroad and teach English, take a break from your regular day to day teaching, that's okay. If you want to go abroad and do some education tourism, maybe see other schools, do some research, maybe even take some classes yourself, that's okay. Because with teachers leaving the field, I'm telling you, I'm here to help you fall back in love with it. Teaching is amazing. It's lovely. It's one of the best things I've ever done with my life. And I feel like my calling has been to motivate teachers and motivate people to feel good about what they do and actually love it, actually get up each morning, not because of a paycheck, but because it's what they've dreamed of doing their whole lives. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to take the plunge. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm taking a break, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to get back into the classroom stronger than ever. Don't be afraid to take that sabbatical and really make decisions about what you want to do with your life. Some might take a break and say, you know what, I actually don't want to do this again. Some might take a break and go teach in a different field, right? Maybe they'll teach in art history, teach cooking classes, something. But teaching won't be far away. I thank you for your time. Please go to the show notes for any details that you might need about taking a sabbatical, learning about educational tourism, learning about resources for teaching abroad. If you have any questions, you can always find me on Instagram at always_travel_light. Head to the blog for information on teaching, travel, anything that gives you some level of passion that you want to do in this life. I'm here. I'm here to motivate you. I'm here to show you that teaching can be amazing and it can make you feel good again. But you have to decide whether you're ready to make the change. It's been great. I'll be back again next week. Have a great day.